Well, it seems to me there is a double standard here, because if they had, they'd have been run out of town, and that's the difference.
But your countryman Ricky Gervais very famously went in on the woke Hollywood elite and all that, like countless times to their
hang on.
The Piers Morgan show became a heated battleground after Trae Crowder absolutely destroyed Piers Morgan, following the latter's implication on comedic boundaries. Crowder spoke up promptly, casually highlighting the flaws and odd perspective of Morgan's ideology, exposing the frail condition of his defense and rattling him completely on air.
As a comedian, I think it should be cool to make jokes. I guess that's how I feel. You said,
is that a funny joke?
Brigade. It's an award show fair. They're out, they're usually
really
not like
calling the first
best
lady a
and
hooker.
brightest.
When did people do that to a Democrat first lady?
Piers Morgan being on the edge here, just because of an award show joke, might be one of his most unhinged moments.
I mean,
Obama.
people say, okay, this is what I always as a comedian, I can tell you. So, like,
horrible stuff about Michelle
you
Obama.
should, yeah, they said the stuff that people said about Michelle Obama and everything over the, but my point is,
on
like,
stage in front of an audience,
I can tell you that, no, I know it's true, because as a comedian, I know, and I think most comedians would agree, it's like conservatives, they do tend to be very thin-skinned. They are very easily offended. They don't take jokes very well. You kind of have to walk on eggshells around them because you will offend their delicate sensibilities. That's tough for me.
In case you were wondering what the complete backstory is, Piers Morgan got offended after Chelsea Handler joked about First Lady Melania Trump being a hooker.
It was a huge year for biopics, a complete unknown about Bob Dylan, about Maria Callas, and Honora about Melania Trump.
Even though Chelsea Handler tried to wrap it up too well, the implication of Honora upon Melania Trump does not conclude to the meaning that it got Piers Morgan offended. However, what he forgot to consider was the fact that it was just a joke and should have not been taken too seriously.
One of the things I find really so wrong about the Democrat side and liberals in America is they love to say we're the Be Kind Brigade. The trouble with the Republicans is they're nasty, we're nice, and so on. And then they do things like this, which is Chelsea Handler saying this about Melania Trump, the First Lady.
Handler is well known for her sharp tongue and unfiltered jokes, which have caused controversies in the past. But this all accounts for her mindset of freedom of speech and comedy. But Piers Morgan, being the usual self, tried his best to paint her in a bad light by bashing her with allegations.
Tell you that, no, I know it's true, because as a comedian, I know, and I think most comedians would agree, it's like conservatives, they do tend to be very thin-skinned. They are very easily offended. They don't take jokes very well. You kind of have to walk on eggshells around them because you will offend their delicate sensibilities. That's tough for me because I'm a big free speech guy as a comedian, so I'm not used to this.
Trae Crowder is absolutely right here. Comedians do have to walk on eggshells because of some thin-skinned individuals who cannot even take a joke properly.
Used to this, Chelsea, she said, she called her a prostitute. Maybe that's not really fair, maybe like gold digger probably would have been better. But I feel like when people say, they don't just say gold digger usually. There's some other word that comes out. They say gold digging, what is it? I can't remember. It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, whores, right? Yeah, gold digging whores. So, but I don't know where Chelsea got the prostitute thing from. No, that's totally out of line. What you guys are? I thought y'all are the you can't joke about anything anymore crowd.
Even if Handler's joke was inappropriate, Piers Morgan does not have much of a strong ground here, not just because of his nationality, but because of the difference in censorship between the UK and the US. Unlike the recent British governments that have restricted comedians through extreme censoriousness, the US government cannot bypass the First Amendment, which kills any kind of censoriousness upon people, especially comedians. And that's why the people who were offended by this joke cannot shut down comedians or comedy like that, because these are the same people who have been promoting the rights of free speech.
So I gotta be honest with you, you can joke about what you like, and my only comparison is, yes, people trolled Michelle Obama and so on. I don't remember any famous comedian doing it on stage, an award show, calling Michelle Obama a prostitute, or Hillary Clinton, or any other Democrat wife, for that matter, ever. Democrat First Lady. And so I'm afraid it seems to me it seems to me there is a double standard here, because if they had, they'd have been run out of town. And that's the difference.
Let's be clear on one thing. Michelle Obama was brutally targeted by comedians during her service as the First Lady and was even called an ape. Plus, she was roasted and heckled based on racism and hatred from the opponents, unlike Melania, who is subtly targeted by Handler for her public persona and past scandals as discussed in her memoir. So as long as Piers tries to pin everything on the Democrats, that's never gonna happen.
Your countryman Ricky Gervais very famously went in on the woke Hollywood elite and all that, like countless times to their face.
Hang on. Trae,
everybody loved it.
I'm saying specifically calling.
I loved it.
I'm saying specifically calling the First Lady of the United States a hooker. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, if you're gonna like define it that narrowly, no, I can't find an analogy to that. But people,
there hasn't been one.
But that's okay. Because
it's okay.
Trae's right on point here, bringing up an example that Piers cannot counter at all. I mean, this is tolerance, because the people laughing at Chelsea Handler's joke were the same people who enjoyed Ricky Gervais when he was not subtly bashing them to their faces. And the fact that Ricky Gervais has hosted such shows numerous times says a lot about the difference in tolerance levels across the pond.
If you're a Democrat, it seems to me that's fine. It's fine to do it about a Republican First Lady. My point is, no one has ever done that from the right or left about a Democrat First Lady. There is a double standard about Melania Trump that I find repulsive. And if I was Donald Trump, I'd be repulsed by that as well.
This is why Crowder expressed his nervous energy when he faced the liberals. Their tolerance for handling criticism or even jokes is far lower than others, making them a sensitive corner to touch.
I just think you should be able to joke about anything as a comedian. That's all I'm saying. I think it's ridiculous to draw the line there. These people are in power. You can punch up. You can make fun of a Democrat First Lady if you want to. You can make fun of the Republican one. It's fine. People either laugh or they won't. If she's in front of a Hollywood crowd, they're liberals. They laugh. Whatever. If she does it in front of another crowd, they're not going to. People at home don't have to like it. They could get mad. But, you know, like I said, I believe in the First Amendment. I believe in free speech. You should be able to say these things, you know.
Oh, you can say it, but I can call it out.
Piers may have long portrayed himself as a centrist or even a liberal, but his repeated public meltdowns over jokes reveals just how thin-skinned and ideologically inconsistent he really is. For someone who claims to champion free speech, his hypersensitive reactions to comedians like Chelsea Handler suggest that his support for that principle is highly conditional. Essentially, free speech for his kind of speech, but not for those who dare mock the powerful on the right.
Mike, are you happy that Chelsea Handler called the First Lady a prostitute?
I mean, it's a stupid joke. I didn't think it was particularly funny, but I think, like, you know, Piers, like, you call yourself an anti-woke host. Like, this is an awfully woke conversation, I think, to
but
be
it's not, though, is it? I actually don't think it is. I don't think calling First Ladies prostitutes is, A, it's not funny, but B, it's just wrong, isn't it? I mean, I'm not even American and I feel it's wrong.
Doesn't Piers Morgan know about 2016's infamous moment when a West Virginia county employee called Michelle Obama an ape in heels? That wasn't a failed joke, it was overt racism. What about the steady stream of attacks from the far right that painted her as angry, masculine, or un-American? What does Piers call that?
I agree with you. I didn't think the joke was particularly funny. I had no idea what a Nora was until I read the briefing for this conversation earlier today. Never heard of the movie. But look, I think conservatives need to lighten up. I think liberals need to lighten up. Like, was it Whitney Cummings on New Year's Eve that did a bunch of like anti-Kamala, anti-Biden jokes and like the left went crazy? Like, let comedians have fun. If you don't like it, turn off the TV.
No, I'm all in favor of that. Right to the point you call First Ladies hookers. I just think it crosses a line. Let me bring in Mercedes. I mean, like Mercedes.
They are right. Comedy's not about anti-Republican or anti-Democrat. Comedy's comedy, and it should be treated as such. There's nothing much to think about or make it a political talking point because, let's be honest, we live in a free society where we can say whatever we want about whoever we want. While Piers Morgan insisted on the matter being a typical political enmity and tried to paint Chelsea Handler as a politically inclined comedian, Trae Crowder calmly dismantled his arguments, making it painfully clear that true liberal values lie in embracing free expression, not gatekeeping it.